Boker Tov, everyone. We are in Megilat Esther Perek Aleph, Pasuk He. Uvimlot hayamim ha'ele. This is now after the 180-day feast. When these days were finished, Asa melech kol ha'am hanimtzaim b'Shushan HaBira. The king Achashverosh made for the people hanimtzaim that were found in Shushan HaBira. We'll see what that means. The Migado ve'ad Katan, from the elders till the children, Mishte Shivat Yamim, a party of 7 days, Bachatzar Ginat Bitan HaMelech, in the courtyard, in the garden of the palace of the king. So the Gaon of Vilna says, what does this mean? L'chol ha'am hanimtzaim, the nation that was found there in Shushan. He explains practically that this wasn't his real city. Remember, he moved everything to Shushan because that's where the throne was able to be made. So these were kind of like the new people. It was under his kingdom. But so he threw a party for the people that were there, the people. We'll see a different explanation in a moment from the Remez. Here he explains that there's 3 areas that the king Achashverosh set up for the people: in the courtyard, Chatzar, Ginat in the garden, and Bitan in the palace. He says these are the 3 worlds that Hashem created. He says there's Olam Hazeh, there's Olam Haba, and in Olam Haba there's the highest mechitza, separated area, the highest level where Kaviyachol Hashem dwells, and the highest neshamot of the high tzaddikim. That's what he says. That's the 3 levels. Now he says so too the 3 levels of in the party. The Gemara says that it was also 3 levels of people. You had the highest ranking people in the palace, the next level were in the garden, and the low level was in the courtyard. So the question is that you want to make a party for the people, you're going to now be causing jealousy among people. You're making some people in the palace, you got a ticket for the courtyard only, this guy's in the garden, it's not so nice. So the Gemara explains that really Achashverosh set everybody first in the courtyard, in the lowest level. But he had openings. It's like in the back was all the courtyard, and then he had one opening to the palace, one opening to the garden. And everyone just felt where they should belong. So it wasn't technically a person from the lowest level could go even to the palace, but he might not have felt that was really his place. He didn't go in there. But it was open to everyone. And the Gaon will explain so too when we go into life, because again, the Achashverosh compared to the Yetzer Hara, so too we have in front of us the path of life, or Chas v'Shalom, the path of the opposite spiritually. And we have to choose, B'charta b'chaim, to choose the right way. Now, the Gaon of Vilna explains further in Remez, Uvimlot hayamim ha'ele, when these days finished, we explained that there was 180 days, and there was these extra days, which are referring to Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Chodesh Elul, and Yom Kippur, which are days that the Satan doesn't have a stronghold on us. But he says that when these days finish, then you go to the ha'am hanimtzaim. Unfortunately, often when the high holidays finish, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, etc., what happens is that people go back to their old ways. They go back to their old midot. And they go back to the ha'am hanimtzaim, to the nation that's found, the way a person is naturally born. And we have to work on that to make sure that we overcome and rise year after year after the high holidays. And he says that the party here, last point, but an amazing point, he says that the party here was a 7-day party. And he says, the Gaon of Vilna explains, 7 days is representing the life of a person as we say in Tehillim, Shivim Shana, that the average life is 70 years. And if you have a longer life, you have 80 years and even longer, that's even greater. The person always has to thank Hashem. So 70 years. So he explains that the 70 years is like the 7 days, and the Yetzer Hara, Achashverosh representing, wants to consume our whole life. He wants us to be serving him our entire life. But he said the proper outlook on life is supposed to be like Shabbat, is that 70 years is like the 7 days of the week. So the last decade, from age 60 to 70, is like Shabbat. And therefore, he says, we know that the Torah says a person works 6 days, and Shabbat he rests. And Shabbat is the main day of learning, as we explained. so too a person has to work to make his livelihood, etc. But that should only be till he's 60. After that, he should recognize, now I'm coming towards the last 10 years. I have to dedicate like Shabbat and concentrate more on learning Torah and more in tefillah, etc. An unbelievable explanation that how a person's life should also be like Shabbat. Yes, a person has to work. Okay, you got till the 6 days of the week, 60. After that, then you should. The Jewish way of retiring is spending more time in the Shiurim, Tehillim, Bet Midrash, Bet Knesset, and Bezrat Hashem will be zocheh to overcome and conquer our Yetzer Hara. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'Amen. Rabbi Hanania ben Akashya Omer, Ratzah Kadosh Baruch Hu lezakot et Yisrael lefi rach yibar lהם Torah mitzvot שנאמר, Adonai chafetz למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר.